The story-rich action-crafting RPG genre is getting pretty busy these days. Atomfall is the latest in what seems like a never-ending sequence of these games. Does setting one in the UK in the 1960s make it special? Watch on and find out.
My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play.
Anytime I see the word crafting, my ears perk up. The same goes for survival. When I saw that Atomfall by Rebellion was billed as quote-unquote survival action with crafting elements, I knew I had to give it a try. Now, before you get all cranky pants and start whining about how I didn't like Avowed and that clearly I don't like any of these action RPGs, I'll remind you that I put over 60 hours into Death Stranding, mostly just building roads, so it's quite possible that I might find another story-rich action crafting RPG that I like. So, before I pass judgment prematurely, let's actually get into the game. In the most tired trope of all, your character awakens in a prison-like bunker with a horrible sense of amnesia and is now clearly the only one who can save the day. In the particular case of Atomfall, saving the day is apparently spreading the truth via exploring the interchange. This isn't much of a spoiler, as it's really the very first thing you are told in the game. You are quickly introduced to the fact that, yes, you can craft things in this game, and you are also introduced to the choices matter aspect of it, too. Do you choose to help this poor, bleeding, dying, gas-masked scientist? Do you choose to kill him? Do you just ignore him? The choice is yours. Since this is the 1960s or thereabouts, you have a literal physical map that people you encounter will annotate, and you are keeping a notebook of information about your various encounters. You can, thankfully, refer back to various encounters and the notes you took to try to determine how to proceed. What you quickly surmise is that things have gone quite badly. Everyone is more or less trapped in this region, and various groups are all vying for control. And, surprise, you're not exactly besties with any of them. Yet? That could change depending on the interactions that you have with folks. Unsurprisingly, and also in a tired trope, your character has no skills when you start. You're noisy, clumsy, have crappy weapons, can't carry a lot of stuff, and don't know how to make anything either. You do have the ability to trade with various NPCs you encounter via a barter system, which I've seen in a lot of games recently. As long as the scales balance out, which is quite literal in Atomfall, the trade may be completed. You can give up a pile of stuff to get knowledge about crafting, which you can immediately use. You can also give up a mega pile of stuff to get a book to teach you the basics of skills, which you annoyingly cannot immediately use. Why? Because you need to find little vials of training drugs that enable you to learn those skills? Those skills come in various forms, some of which grant new crafting abilities, some of which grant combat or other abilities. It's not all that innovative in this department, other than the frankly annoying scavenging for the skill points to actually be able to use the skills that you learned? Whatever. Don't worry though, you can sometimes, but rarely, encounter these skill-learning books in your scavenging. Combat is so-so. As I mentioned, you're kind of a lout to start and your weapons stink. The outlaws that you encounter in the first map area aren't all that sophisticated either, but they do tend to travel in packs. Often, those packs include several folks with long-range weapons. This makes planning your attacks a little bit tricky. Or you can do what I do whenever I can, which is lob an explosive or incendiary device into the crowd and then run in with a shotgun to mop up. Or hope that you can hide behind a corner and when they come around, you can take them out. Stealth is an option, and you can take down characters from behind like in many other stealthy combat games, but you have to learn a special skill to do it quietly, so it's not all that useful initially as a complete stealth maneuver. Crafting is exactly as might be expected. You scavenge bits here and there, and eventually have enough bits to make the stuff you learned how to make. You have a limited capacity for crafting supplies, and crafting is very slow. Crafting happens in real time and isn't a pause type of scenario. That means that you're unlikely to want to go into a combat scenario and then find yourself having to construct an explosive while under fire. But your main inventory is really quite limited, and you can only equip 4 different weapons for fast access, even though you can hold many more than 4 different types of weapons. I found this annoying too. It's even more annoying because you don't really have any place to stash anything. Okay, fine, yes, spoiler alert. There is a system of stashing stuff at the interchange, but there's also no fast travel. So if you're in some other region and you want to get back to the storage in the interchange because you've got a full load of supplies, it can take a really long time. And who wants to go running back to the storage just to drop off some canned meat? Okay, fine. I get that this is the point in a game like this, inventory management. It doesn't mean that I have to like it. The dialogues are pretty well done, and there is definitely a lot of story to explore. How you interact with characters can give you different conversation options, so your choices matter. And further, as you uncover different information and explore different storylines, the stories intertwine and open up other options. As an example, and I'm trying to be as non-spoilery as possible here, you uncover a murder and, in talking to other people, find some information that you can choose to hold against one person or another. And there is an even more complicated 3-way situation because a third party is interested in knowing all of the gossip, who you may wish to or wish not to inform. Or you can just kill lots of folks when no one is looking, but that really hampers further dialogue with those individuals unless you take a lot of drugs. And while there are drugs in this game, I don't think they're hallucinogenic. Before I give my final verdict, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Agree with me, disagree with me, or want to see other content? Let me know in the comments below. Want to try this game yourself? Check out my humble affiliate link below. And if you want to support me in making more of these videos, become a patron on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference. The final verdict. Atomfall is definitely a very complete game. And, while it's fully released, Rebellion does seem to be taking feedback and making tweaks based on things that I saw happening on their Discord. The graphical performance was good at 4K with the GTX 3080, which I found refreshing given how badly many other recent AAA releases performed for me. On my trademarked 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, I ate lots of canned meat and potatoes and tried to find some cool guns to use to take out all of those outlaws. But ultimately, the game was just meh, and the story didn't really grip me, and many of the mechanics were a little frustrating. So I packed up my atomic batteries and headed back to my bunker to try to make a real meal from all the tomatoes and canned meat and potatoes I collected.